Here is the case of an occupier, and the boy definitely was a trespasser. So let's see what is the law or what the legal principle says about a trespasser. It says an occupier is not normally liable to a trespasser, but yes, he becomes liable if the act was willful and it was intended to cause harm to the trespasser, or if the act was done with reckless disregard. Now, as far as the first component is concerned, there is nothing to show that this act was intended to cause harm to the trespasser or to the boy. There was no such intention on the part of the owner, that is Tony. And secondly, there was no reckless disregard also, because there was clearly a prominent warning signboard, and also an attendant was kept to take care of the dog. So we cannot say that Tony can be charged with reckless disregard regarding the situation. Since neither of the two components are applicable, neither of the two exceptions are applicable, we will say that Tony is not liable to the trespasser, that is the boy. And therefore, the answer will be both A and B. That is D. Tony is not liable. Okay. Next, the contract after death of one party can be continued if it is ratified by the surviving party. Actual situation. Vishal, a famous artist, was requested by Arun, an industrialist, to draw the portrait of his deceased wife and paid rupees 20,000 in advance and agreed to pay, when the work was completed, another sum of rupees 2 lakhs. When the portrait was half drawn, Vishal died due to a heart attack. His son, also a fine artist, completed his father's work, demanded money from Arun. Arun refused to pay, to accept the portrait drawn by Vishal's son, and also demanded the advance to be returned. So Arun now wants the advance to be returned to him. On the other hand, Vishal's son wants the promised amount of 2 lakhs. Now, what does the legal principle say? It says the contract after death of one party can be continued if it is ratified by the surviving party. In this case, which is the surviving party? Arun. And there is no ratification by Arun after the death of Vishal. Therefore, the contract does not continue. And since the contract is not in existence, neither party is required to do anything. In that case, Arun cannot demand the advance amount from the son of Vishal, and son of Vishal cannot demand the rest of amount from Arun. So again, the answer will be D. Both A and B will be applicable. Meanwhile, Pratik has an answer that he is new to the course and he should be told as to how the study material should be gone through and all that. Again, I would say, Pratik, this question will be answered by Vivek sir subsequently. And I'll be confining myself only to the legal aptitude questions. All right? Okay. Kusal says how A. Now, Arun cannot demand the advance amount from the son of Vishal, because that advance was not given to the son of Vishal. The advance was given to Vishal. There was a contract between Vishal and Arun. Vishal is now no more, and since it was not ratified by Arun after the death of Vishal, therefore the contract is no longer in existence, and therefore there is no liability from either side, neither from the side of Arun nor from the side of son of Vishal. So that's how we say that both A and B will be true, which means D will be the correct option.